Hello friends, welcome to Miss Laboda's online theater classroom. Today we are going to be learning about types of puppets. Now if you've been in my class before, you're already pretty familiar with quite a few puppets. We've worked with puppets before, but today we are really going to learn about the terminology behind each of these puppets. So actual vocab coming your way. And I really want you to pay attention because you might notice that there's a little Kahoot link with this video. So there's definitely going to be a challenge, and I'm going to see who remembers their puppetry terminology. So I'm going to introduce each of these types of puppets. We're going to learn about the vocab, and hey, I might even let a few of the puppets introduce themselves. So without further ado, here are the types of puppets. All right, puppet number one that we're going to be learning about, we'll start really simple, is a stick puppet. Now I'll get this a little bit closer so y'all can see. I have this nice little lady here, maybe a princess. Stick puppets are some of the simplest puppets to make. In fact, you can probably make one of these at home if you want to. You don't even have to have a popsicle stick. You could use a straw or anything else that kind of resembles this. So all you have to do is cut a shape out of paper, and then suddenly you got yourself a little stick puppet, right? Just make sure you color it neatly because y'all know how I feel about scribble scrabble. We don't like to do that here. So stick puppets are a lot of fun to just kind of move up and down. To manipulate a stick puppet, you really do just kind of move it. The puppeteer typically hides. So if I was really doing this, I might be down here and moving the stick puppet. Ooh, it's so bright you can't see it. So stick puppets are super simple. Stick puppets can also be used as shadow puppets, which if I can get my light going on here, we have a lot of lights happening here, but let's see if you can kind of see. See how I'm casting a shadow on the back wall? Yes, so you could use those as shadow puppets, or you could use your hands. Notice when you move it away from the light, the shadow gets smaller. When you move it towards the light, it gets bigger. You could do some different things. I know you could do a dog, right? Ooh. There we go, dog. It's so weird to look at the video and then also do it in real life. So those are our first two types of puppets, shadow puppets and stick puppets. Like I said, you can use stick puppets as shadow puppets, or you can just use them as their own thing, right? Awesome, here's puppet number two. All right, the next type of puppet we're gonna talk about is another really simple puppet, finger puppets. A lot of y'all have played with these in my classroom. Finger puppets are a lot of fun. They're kind of similar to stick puppets in the sense that you don't really move the mouth at all. You just kind of move the puppet back and forth. I got a fun little ghost here. And just like with the stick puppets, the puppeteer typically hides, and you have the finger puppet come up like this, right? And move around. Finger puppets are a lot of fun, especially because you can have more than one on at once, and it's really fun to tell stories with. So those are finger puppets. All right, next up we have hand puppets. Now hand puppets are a little bit more complicated because there are quite a few types of hand puppets. With this hand puppet here, you see that I can move its hands with my fingers and I can move its head, but its mouth doesn't move. So this is not a talking puppet. Sorry, puppet. It's okay. He says it's okay. So this is one type of hand puppet. It's kind of like, you could call it a glove puppet. That's another word for it, glove puppet. Make sure you remember that. Okay, so that's our first type of hand puppet. There are also types of hand puppets where instead of moving the hands, all you can move is the mouth, and the hands just kind of flop around like that. So this puppet also has a special effect noise in it, if you can hear that. It's supposed to sound like a ribbit. I don't know if it does. But this puppet, all you can move is the mouth. So this is another type of hand puppet. And then last but not least, we have a sort of puppet where you can do both of those things, which is super exciting. Some of you probably recognize this friend. It's Milton. How are you doing, Milton?
I'm doing pretty well. Oh my goodness, is this your class?
These are my classes, just on the other side of the screen. Well, Milton's really excited to see you. So, these type of hand puppets, you can move the mouth, right, just like I did with Milton, and you can move the arms. So these are very special types of puppets, a lot of fun to work, but a little bit complicated to work. So those are all three types of hand puppets. The next puppet we have, similar to a hand puppet, is a hand and rod puppet. As you can tell, this is similar to a hand puppet because you've got the mouth moving here, but it also has a rod to move the hands. Now this puppet, you can actually switch it between the hands, so you can have either hand move. Hand and rod puppets are what you might be used to with the Muppets, with Sesame Street. A lot of those are hand and rod puppets, so those are a little bit more complicated than hand puppets. Isn't that right? Arrgh, matey. That's my pirate voice. Hope you like it. So, hand and rod puppets are what you would see Muppets, Sesame Street. You're probably used to seeing them, and they're a little bit more complex than regular hand or glove puppets. Super quick edit that I'm adding after I've watched the videos. A lot of y'all have asked me in class what it's called when the puppeteer, because y'all will notice that when I'm in class, here, I'll use Milton because we're all used to Milton. When I'm in class, I usually just move my mouth with the puppet, like this.
Hi, class. This is Milton.
Right? You can still see me talking whenever I move the puppet. What it's called when you don't move your mouth, that's called ventriloquism, okay? Kind of a long word, ventriloquism. That's like some of y'all brought up the America's Got Talent girl. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not good at ventriloquism, am I, Milton?
Miss Laboda is not good at ventriloquism. Miss Laboda, you really shouldn't do that because they don't understand what you're saying.
Exactly right. So I'm not good at ventriloquism, but that's a fun vocab word for y'all to know in case maybe while you're home from school you want to pick up a new skill, maybe some ventriloquism. I'd love to see if you end up trying that. So, sorry, quick edit, just wanted to add that. Last but not least, we have one pretty complicated version of a puppet, or type of a puppet, sorry. It is the marionette puppet. Now, as you can see, this one is controlled by 3 different strings and a little T-shaped apparatus up here to make it move. So, to show you what that kind of looks like, we have, when I tip it up like this, the hand and the foot here move, and when I tip it up like this hand and foot move. So you can kind of make it look like it's walking. I'll be honest, I'm not that great with marionettes either, so bear with me. You can kind of make, one of the things I like to do is make the marionette look like it's climbing up things. So it just climbed up to the screen to say hello. And now it's just kind of dancing, because that's the easiest thing to do with the marionette is make them dance. So marionettes are pretty tricky. There's some really cool videos of marionettes out there if you Google that with the parent permission. But marionettes are pretty tricky, and they're our final type of puppet that we're going to learn about today. So, just to review, the puppets that we've learned about today: stick puppets or shadow puppets, which you can also do with your hands. We have finger puppets. We have hand or glove puppets, and we have several different types of hand puppets, right? Some that move the mouth, some that move the mouth and the arms. We have hand and rod puppets. And last but not least, we have our marionette. So those are the types of puppets. If you feel like you are ready to take the Types of Puppets challenge, go ahead and follow the link to the Kahoot. There's a challenge set up for you so you can see how you compare with everybody else. It was so great teaching y'all today. I will be back soon with another video, and happy performing.